It fits in the tantrums right there, man on the moon. It is 30 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. And I guess if you want to get to the moon, you've got to get an education. We're pleased to welcome in the studio with us from Somersfield Academy. I guess that's the right term, Somersfield Academy. We have Charlie with us. He is the head of secondary. We have Courtney, the librarian, and we have Christina, who is the author of the book that we're going to be talking about as well. So good morning to the three of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Charlie, you're going to have to lean in, but we'll get it, mate. We'll get it. Yeah.
That's all right. I can pull in. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bermuda. I hope you're not stuck in traffic this morning. I know you all enjoyed your ride home, West Enders, last night.
Well, I don't know. I don't think the ride home was too, judging by my reception, my wife when she got in, I don't think the ride home was too good as well last night. They got stuck. But anyhow, yeah, otherwise we would have cut this interview if they were stuck. We would have just played music, right? Bad enough being stuck in traffic, but having to listen to my mouth, that's...
We're highly entertaining. I'm surprised you say that.
Yeah, well, I said me. I didn't say you. I said me. I'm sure you are. Again, welcome. Great to have the three of you in the studio. And again, we're here representing Somersfield Academy. A brand new school year.
Absolutely. We're off to a fresh start.
Very fresh start. I was reading a bit about Somersfield here. Located 107 Middle Road, Devonshire. Yes. Founded in 1991. So this is the school's 35th anniversary.
I really appreciate you because I was like, I'm going to forget that date of 1991. So you've saved me.
Yeah. No problem.
Yes, we're excited. It's our 35th year. So
yes.
We're kind of coming towards middle age. We've grown up. So we're excited to kind of share it with the community.
Obviously, remember when Somersfield started it because it goes back before that was National Sports Club. It was a members club. I used to be a member of that club there. So thanks for kicking me out of my club there.
Well, people give us a hard time about that, but yeah, it's funny because I think in the community we're sort of thought of as most people refer to us as just the Montessori school,
right?
And we definitely are a Montessori school and have strong roots with Maria Montessori and Montessori education. But we're also an international baccalaureate school.
You do the IB as well, yes. I was reading that, yes,
as well. And I mean, we've been around now for 35 years, so we're pretty proud of that.
Charlie, and so you should be. So all of you, congratulations to that 35 years for Somersfield. Well done. Now, what are we here to talk about today?
Well, today we are here to talk about our summer reading initiative.
Okay.
So we decided this year to bring back a pre-COVID tradition at Somersfield where we have all of secondary students read a book together over the summer at home.
Okay.
And this year we really wanted to pick a book that was going to speak to our school's mission, vision, and values of creating socially conscious, independent thinkers.
Okay.
So Christina is here to talk about her book, Flowers in the Gutter, which has 3 characters which are socially conscious, independent thinkers. And this book is really a great story about teenagers who resisted the Nazis during World War II. And we at Somersfield, we really want to teach our children to kind of see what's happening in the world around them and make decisions for themselves and kind of speak for justice and peace.
That's it, exactly. Well done. Yeah. You get them up and make them form their own opinions. You give them the information they need, and then you let them form their own opinion. So, Miss Christina, you are the author of Flowers in the Gutter.
That's correct.
A couple of questions. How long was the process to put this book together? I would imagine years, because there's a lot of research involved.
Yeah,
absolutely. Probably for this, tons of research.
Yes. The book, so it's nonfiction. It took about 4 years. It actually came out in 2020 during COVID.
Okay.
So it's had a little life out in the world since then. But I started working on it in 2016.
Wow.
And did a lot of research in Germany, in archives there, kind of trying to piece together the story of these teenagers who called themselves the Edelweiss Pirates. And
Edelweiss Pirates.
Yeah, they had, there was a lot of information about them, but there wasn't a lot of stories that had been told about them. They weren't well known even within Germany.
So that must have been quite a feat yourself, just trying to research them, trying to get some information about them, especially if you're going to put it into a book. I mean, you need a lot of research for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of research, but I love libraries. I love doing research, so it was actually a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have a position at Somersfield, do you?
No, I am visiting.
You're visiting here for the book. Oh, that's great to have you. Great to have. So where do you reside, please? Where's your home?
I reside in Baltimore, Maryland.
By the Orioles. All right,
yes,
Baltimore Orioles.
Exactly,
yeah, here we go. All right, okay. How's it been received so far? How's the book been received? You said it's been out since 2020, so we're 5 years.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been so wonderful. It was really sad in 2020 because all of my book events got canceled.
Yeah.
But since then, I've been able to meet with students both virtually and in person. And so when Somersfield Somersfield contacted me about just saying, "Oh, we're going to read your book for summer reading," and then figuring out the way for me to come down here to Bermuda and talk to the students in person. I was absolutely thrilled because it's truly one of the best parts of writing a book is seeing readers, and especially in this case, young readers, connect with it and seeing themselves in characters or having curiosity about who these people were or the lives that they lived, and, you know, having even more questions. It's always really, really fun.
That's a very good point, Christina. Thank you. I was just going to make that. That must be so pleasing to you to see your work, to see the look on kids' faces when they read these books. Yeah. It's got to be very interesting. It's got to be very satisfying for you.
It's so satisfying.
So now can we ask Courtney? The kids did they read the book? It was over the summer gone that they read the book Flowers.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so they have read it. Most of the secondary school kids or those that were involved have read the book. Okay.
I hope so.
Well, you got to ask them to do a book report. When I was in school, we had to do a book report to make sure we didn't just read the first page and the last page. Huh?
I will say there's definitely some kids who dropped some. You know, they were asking me about the characters, and I said, "Oh, well," and I like, you know, one of the characters is named Fritz, and I said I liked Fritz because he was kind of wild, and then they just dropped a line about something that Fritz did. And I started laughing, and it was one of those, I was like, I know that they've read the book because they wouldn't have made a reference to this wild thing that Fritz did if it weren't for
interesting. So Fritz and the other two kids that are in the book, what age would they have been? Would they have been teenagers or younger than that? Or
yeah, so the book starts when they're kind of 7, 8, 9,
okay.
And they're just starting to experience the takeover of the Nazis of the government. Then, but as they move into their teenage years, 12, 13, 14, they're already starting to get these feelings of resistance and I don't like what's going on. How can I change it? What's my role in changing this? How can I, you know, do activities against this government knowing that it's dangerous? And how do I do that without, you know, getting myself in trouble, but sometimes ending up in trouble?
I tell you what, there aren't too many other topics in the history of this world that are more difficult for you to pick on. Yeah. That had to be a heck of a topic. You're talking about obviously the Nazis, the Holocaust, and all the occupation and all that goes with it. That is obviously there's a lot of things in history of the world that we're not probably too happy about. That's got to be one of the big ones. That must have been very difficult for you. I mean, you've got to wrap yourself around. You've got to try to put yourself in Fritz. What were the other two names of the other two characters in the book?
Jean and Gertrude.
Okay, so you had to try to try to put yourself in their position to find out the information and then try to see it through their eyes and
exactly. Yeah. And that was really hard in some instances because they had really, really hard experiences. Their parents were arrested. Jean ends up at an orphanage. They were arrested. They were, you know, abused by the police. And so there are some really hard things in the book. And, you know, I've also had students who said this was hard to read. There was some pretty serious stuff in here. But of course, it's all a true story. It's all reality.
Right.
So that's yeah.
No, I would imagine it would have to be. Now, what sort of age frame the kids that were reading the book in Somersfield? What sort of age would they have been? The I guess secondary kids, what, 11, 12 years old?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you see, if your take on it, how do you think, as a librarian or even interacting with some of these kids that read the book, how do you think they interpreted it?
Well, I think that this book, even though it takes place during World War II, it's very relevant to what's happening in the world today. And, you know, our students are very informed. We come to school every day. We talk about what's going on in the world around us. Good. We're an internationally minded school with a global mindset. So we've got kids from all over coming together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, these questions are kind of, unfortunately, you know, very pertinent for today's world.
They have to be asked, yes.
And so this book gives us an opportunity to kind of discuss things in a way that, you know, we can have the author come in and answer important questions. Parents are involved in the process as well. And teachers are here to talk to the kids through big questions.
Wow. I tell you what, this is quite a coup for Somersfield to have you here. No, I mean, I guess it's right where I get. Think about it. I probably should have chosen. But no, this for the kids at Somersfield, this is amazing to have a book that they've read and have the author here to personally speak to them and meet the author of that book. I honestly, going back obviously it's a few years ago, I was in school, but A, I don't remember discussing world topics of the day. Possibly I don't remember that. B, I obviously don't think we ever had the opportunity to meet an author, Dr. Seuss, or any other authors. I don't think I had the opportunity to meet an author. So that really is kudos for Somersfield for doing that. Yeah, and I don't know who spearheaded that, who drove it. Charlie, everybody's looking at you, Charlie.
They're giving me far too much credit.
I figured as much.
Yes,
I figured as much.
We've actually got to give credit right now to Joyanne Rolfe, who is the head of she's one of our language and literature teachers, and she really helped spearhead this program. So she's a star, and Joyanne, thank you.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, thanks to all those that had a part in this. Like I said, this is pretty amazing to have you. So are you enjoying Bermuda your first time here?
It is my first time here, yeah.
Enjoying it?
Yes, it's fantastic. It's kind of early, but so driving here, got to see a beautiful sunrise, and I was thinking to myself, the taxi driver, I was like, I'm sure he's just used to beautiful sunrises. This is not an unusual thing, but there it was. Pink rising over the ocean. It was amazing.
It is, and maybe some of us here do take it for granted. Which we should know, because it's beautiful to be able to drive and have that beauty looking at you first thing in the morning. Absolutely amazing. So may I also ask you, the book's 5 years in, you released it 2020, we're 5 years in. Are you still, as it were, touring, for lack of a better word? Are you still pushing the book? Are you still going to schools? Obviously you're here at Somersfield. So is it still a relevant thing for you that you're still doing around in America or possibly around the world, still promoting your book?
Yeah, it's been amazing to me how over the course of this time, I still get messages from teachers or from students. In some cases it was just like via email. Our students are reading your book and here's some questions that they hope to answer, or joining them on Zoom if I can't come in person. And then, the kind of great reception that I got from this book, and other things that were happening led me to writing another young adult nonfiction book that's also about young people standing up, in this case, right before the U.S. Civil War, standing up for the cause of anti-slavery. And so I think that there's just such a big space for young people to learn about history in an interesting and engaging way. I love history, but I love history because I love imagining this world that people inhabited. And I think a lot of times we get really dry history that isn't fun for kids to read.
Right.
So I want it to be really exciting, interesting, accessible, something where they can really see themselves in those characters and how those characters live their lives.
Okay. And I'm assuming the two of you that are here with us as well, aside from Christine, we've read the book, right, Charlie? We've read the book.
Do you know how much trouble I would be in if I hadn't read it?
Yeah, I know you would have. And if I had read the book, I would have tested you on one of the characters, but I hadn't, but I'm excluded from that. May I ask, Christina, are there any other programs, any other books programs? Are there any other books, anything else in the history of the world so far that you're looking at? Anything else that you might want to delve into? I mean, that's a big project dealing with obviously the Nazis and all that. That's a heck of a. Is there anything else that you have on your radar that you might like to delve into?
Yeah, the other thing that I'm interested in and have written about is the kind of music of the Atlantic and the Caribbean, and so. And that's just a really fascinating topic. It kind of seems far removed from maybe the Edelweiss Pirates or other things, but it's actually really integral because music is a form of resistance and kind of always has been. And so I really see that work that I do a lot around the banjo and the kind of banjo's origins in the Caribbean and the Atlantic, but just music making as a way of resistance is an interesting topic for me.
Sure,
so,
sure, because of course I'm sure people have done it all over the world, all over history. They've made music to fight resistance, to obviously to improve their lifestyle, to fight resistance, to keep themselves happy, whatever it is. I mean, obviously there are songs in my library that sing to that as well, that point to that as well. So that's very interesting. So you hopefully possibly turn that into a book?
So I have one book that's about the early history of the banjo. It's called Well of Souls. And then I'm about to start some research on music in Barbados soon. That's kind of one of my next research projects that I'm really excited about.
I'm sorry, could you, the first book, was it Well of Souls?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask, please, for those out listening, anybody interested, how may we get a hold of these books? Can we? Are we able to? We can't speak about that.
This is the part where I give you the official line that be due to related to work permit requirements. We're not allowed to actively promote Christina's
fair
book,
enough.
unfortunately.
Well, you tell me and I would tell them, man. You can't say anything, but I can. So I guess we can go online somewhere. Yeah, we go online. We'll find it. Christina, just Google Christina who wrote the book. Yeah, she's Googleable. Just write Christina who wrote the book. Yeah, it'll come up. We'll leave that alone. Hey, got a couple minutes left. Anybody like to throw anything else out there? Anything we've missed? Anybody want to shout out to? Anything we've missed?
I think you've covered it quite well. I mean, for me, I just, I think Courtney said it really well. It was about trying to find a book that aligned with the school's mission and vision, and I think it actually is a perfect match. It's a difficult thing because we want all of our students to show some level of resistance. We don't want everybody to just be absolutely compliant, and that's not always easy in a school, because schools, I can hear every kid is looking at their uniform as I say this.
Yeah.
So it's trying to strike that right balance where you can actually encourage leadership and independent thought. And we need people in schools or in companies or whatever it is to challenge the systems, because that's how we grow and improve. And that's really what Somersfield's all about, is the inspiring, the socially conscious, independent thinker. And it was inspiring to see the Idlewise Pirates there. For me, there's a punk rock vibe to all of Christina's things, because it's people that recognize that there's flaws in a system.
A bit of rebellion going on.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and we need that. So
we do need that. The society does need that. We can't all just lay over and play dead, as it were.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't want every student running wild, but at the end of the day, we definitely want to encourage them to think for themselves, and at times to speak their truth and challenge things. And that's how institutionally we grow as well. And I think we've gotten to 35 years because originally, in 1991, we had a group of parents that at that time were looking for an alternative in Bermuda and kind of pushed for something a bit more progressive that maybe was, not available at the time. And all of a sudden, 35 years later, we've got, I think, I'm going to just go out there. I'm a little bit biased, as you know, but I think the leading school in Bermuda for progressive education. So come and check us out. We're doors are always open if anybody's interested.
info@somersfield.bm, 236-9797, direct line if you have any questions. info@somersfield.bm. I will say this, Sir Charles, you don't say much, but when you do, you pack a punch, mate. You've been saving that up to the end. So that's Charlie right there. He's a head of secondary at Somersfield. Great to have you. We've also had Courtney. She's a librarian at Somersfield Academy, and it's Courtney, a librarian, yes. And a pleasure to have Christina. She is the author of Flowers in the Gutter, was released 2020. She's here to speak to the Somersfield Academy kids about the book. They've all read it over the summer. I want to thank the three of you for coming in. I want to thank the three of you for all what you're doing for the youth of Bermuda, for the future of Bermuda, and the future of the world. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you again with your next book. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well done. Take care. Thank you all very much.
Ocean 89.